Yeah,
Are we
we're
ready?
live. Yeah, we're live now. We're live
Recording
on
in
YouTube.
progress.
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Freedom from Nigeria. And in case you're wondering, yes, I am in a car. But what we have to talk about today is very important. Freedom from Nigeria is about getting freedom for the indigenous people, the ancestral landowners who are facing genocide, who are facing economic strangulation, and who are facing starvation. We've said the numbers before. Over 4 million displaced from the land, over 400,000 killed already, over 500,000 as refugees, and countless maimed, raped, and everyone being terrorized on a daily basis by people who are not indigenous to the land. So today, we're going to be talking about a new development in Nigeria, an amendment to the so-called 1999 Constitution, which is actually just Military Decree 24. And then we're going to talk about, on the heels of that, should Nigeria bear the burden of the non-indigenous and non-ancestral Fulanese from around Africa? You'll be seeing the video again from the Bauchi governor where he was talking about that. And maybe a few other videos where we actually show what's actually going on in the country. So today we're going to have Madupe, we have Ayo and Citizen AY, and we have Donald and Tope, who are going to be talking about what exactly is going on in Nigeria. Can a fraudulent document be amended? And wait until you see what's actually in that amendment. You're going to find it exciting and know for sure that no one, and that's no one, in the indigenous alliance territories should be going to 2023 elections, because Nigeria is a scam. The elections is a scam. And we already know the 1999 Constitution is a scam. So now I'm going to hand over to Madupe, who's going to kick us off. And then, like I said, we have AY, welcome Citizen AY.
Thank you.
We've got Donald, welcome Donald, and Tope, who are going to be talking about what's going on. So we're expecting a very lively session. Thank you all very much. Madupe, over to you.
Thank you, Jean, and welcome everyone. Welcome again to this very informative forum. And yes, recently we received some news, and the news is that that they had like an ad hoc committee from the consisted of members from the House, from the legislature and the Senate. I mean, from the House of Representatives and the Senate and the legislatures, that they convened, and then they came up with 68 proposals to amend the 1999 Constitution. But let's talk about that for a minute. What is the 1999 Constitution? Well, that Constitution, according to them, they said that we, the people, decided that we'll come together as an indissoluble entity to now use this document to govern ourselves. That's what the preambles of that Constitution says, right? But the question is, the creation or the promulgation of that Constitution was through a decree number 24. Actually, I do have a copy of that here. A decree of a document called the number 24, decree number 24 by the Abdul Salam military regime. And so that gave birth to the Constitution. So where did the people meet to produce that document? When did the people meet to say, yes, we are buying into this union, and this union is not dissolvable? And when did that even happen? Who signed that document? Who accepted that document? Who were the ones in the room that said, yes, we, the people in Nigeria, have agreed that we will use this document to govern ourselves. Well, if we cannot answer those questions, how can we now say that we have some group of individuals calling themselves legislatures saying that they have the authority to even debate and talk about the contents of this document and say we want to amend it. We want to amend this content within this constitution. Of course, all those are unacceptable. They cannot be valid if we did not sit together to create that. If we did not debate about what needs to go into that, if we did not even agree that we will have a union that is not dissolvable. So how can you now tell us that you have somehow proposed, some amendments to a document that we did not produce, that we had no end in. So with that being said, there are actually like a couple of provisions, like about 3 concerning items in this supposedly 68 bills that was proposed or that were proposed to be changed. And I'm going to share my screen real quick so that we can follow on this. And please, actually, I'm going to do 2 things. Let's look at a video clip of that situation, of that the news. Give me 1 second. Okay, all right, I found it. All right, can you all see my screen? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good.
Let's tell you that the Special Ad hoc Committee on Constitution Review has submitted the report of 68 proposed amendments. The report laying exercise was witnessed by the wife of the President, Aisha Buhari. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
After almost 3 years of painstaking legislative exercise, the Special Ad hoc Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution is done with its assignment.
I also urge the House to receive the report of the House to review the report of the Special Ad hoc Committee on the Review of 1999 Constitution on a bill for an act to alter the provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to provide for the post-court qualification of Secretary of the National Judicial Council and for legislative matters.
But before the report will be laid, the wife of the President, Aisha Buhari, leads a delegation to the floor of the House. She was led into the chamber after the leader of the House, Al-Hassan Oduduwa, moved a motion of admittance. Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila speaks on the essence of the all-important visit.
First Lady is here in a capacity as the First Lady and as a woman to support and show her support for the women folk.
The team leaves shortly after the Deputy Speaker and Chairman of the Ad hoc Committee laid the report of the proposed 68 amendments to the 1999 Constitution in the hope that attempts by Nigeria to have more female representation in governance will receive the nod of the state houses of assembly. Local government autonomy, independent candidacy, mayor for the FCT, special seats for women at state and national assemblies, admittance of presiding officers of the National Assembly into the National Security Council are some of the proposed amendments. At the end of the plenary, House spokesman gives a synopsis of the 68 proposed amendments to the Constitution.
We have also introduced procedure to pass Constitution amendment, alteration, where the President vetoes, and also the procedure to override executive veto when it comes to money bill.
Lawmakers are scheduled to begin voting on the 68 proposed amendments to the Constitution next Wednesday and conclude the exercise the day after. Their approved clauses will be transmitted to the state houses of assembly for 2/3 concurrence before being sent to Mr. President for assent. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, so let me stop the video here. And there are like 3 items there, in that announcement that I would want us to all chime in. So the first one is, they said that the First Lady was in attendance and that she came to give her support as the representative of women in Nigeria. So my question to this audience is that do you think that the First Lady was the position of the First Lady, or is the position of the First Lady an elective position or an elected position? That's number one. Number two, how can an individual represent people that she doesn't even know and whose life experiences she has not lived? That's number two. Then number three, they said something about some of the synopsis of the proposed amendments include veto power, expanding the vetoes, executive vetoes of financial matters.
Yeah.
So I want you all, my sisters, because I see my sisters and brothers, to chime in. What do you all think about this?
It's ridiculous if you ask me. But if you ask me my personal opinion, this is a ridiculous thing to happen. It more or less truncates what should really happen. It more or less it's truncating our democracy, the so-called democracy, and it actually exposes the fact that we are not a democracy. Because how can you have a first lady come in without an unelected person should not have a say in what is going on in that plenary? The only people that should speak are the people who are elected. And the fact that they interjected in there and brought her in was a way to sort of try and hoodwink the people. Oh, the first lady, and forget. And all of this is about is smoke screen, smoke, cloak and dagger. It's all to create something to distract from what is really going on, which is to pull, to take away the ability of the citizens to hold those who are so-called elected, quote unquote. We don't have free and fair elections. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Those people, they are trying to make sure that they are not held to account, and they don't want you to read and scrutinize that document. Again, that goes back to the reason why we must have a referendum, because the referendum would afford the citizens the opportunity to scrutinize anyone who is elected. And until that is done, we will neither have a free nor fair elections, and we will continue to be ruled by military. That's what I like to say on that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Ayo. And I know that, Jean, you're actually itching to speak, but I want you to address something for us. Jean. No, just, and I'm going to throw it to other, the other individuals here. Ayo mentioned something, that the only way out is referendum. It actually touched on a very, very important, topic, because this constitution that these people have even gathered together to say they want to change, or they want to propose amendments to, do they even have the authority to do that, to perform that action? What do you think, Jean?
One of the important things that he talked about is about democracy, right? First of all, if you have a document that is not put together by the people, democracy is a government by the people for the people. And in this scenario, this document is not, let's just start from there, it is not for the people, because it's a very stupid people indeed that will put together a constitution that takes away all their rights, make their rights unenforceable. Is a very stupid indigents who will give up their assets and have other people get more of the revenue from their assets and they themselves are getting. I mean, we're talking incredibly people that have no sense whatsoever, and we know that's not the case, right? So when we want to talk about democracy, that was put in place, which is supposed to be for the people, by the people, has already failed. Let's not even go into how it was put together, this is military decree 24. So the only option that we have, the only real option that we have is to go to referendum. The people need to speak, not the politicians. The people need to speak, and they need to be able to put something in place that is for the benefit of the people. Because right now, with 90 million living in abject poverty in Nigeria, there is no benefit to the people, contrasted to the politician. senators over $600,000 a year, while 90 million are living in abject poverty, with 10 million of them at the brink of death. That is abject poverty.
Jane, if I may just chime in cut in real quick, because another one, see, you actually led to the next, you've led me to the next question, but I'm going to pose that to, to the audience, and feel free too, if you want to answer to that. One of the proposed amendments to the, to this constitution is number 42, I think is the proposal number 42. And if I can find that real quick, and that's the one that says that, that let me see. Okay, yeah, that's the one that says that they need to expand the immunity to members of, they already have immunities, just like you said, but then they want to expand it now. So which means, does that mean, and please chime in someone, please tell me, help me understand, does it mean that when they expand this immunity, they expand the immunity or immunities, I don't know how many those are, those are, right? To these members of the, to the legislature and to the judiciary, does it mean that they can make any law? They can make even laws that, laws that are, downright, against human rights, and nobody can hold them accountable for it. Is that what that means?
Yeah, it's.
Let me just add one more thing before.
What they actually mean is this.
Yes.
No, let me just add one more thing so that you can do a totality. Remember, governors are already immune. The president is already immune. Now they want senators and House of Rep and the courts to be immune. Donald,
and
over
the
to
courts.
you.
Yes,
yes.
the judiciary and the courts.
So all of the lawmakers are now immune, and they're going to be immune. Who is accountable, Donald? If you can take that, please.
Yeah, the immunity clause. The immunity actually means that if you're it's already on the governors and the president already do have it, meaning that if you commit any offense during your term as governor, you cannot be arrested or questioned while you are in office. That is the immunity. They have that immunity.
Yeah.
Now they want to expand it.
Yes.
Now they want to expand it to the legislatures. That is the senators and the Federal House of Reps. Meaning, what usually happens is the governor, if he is on the opposition party or if he's in the opposite party, can use the EFCC or the police to harass, to invite these people to court. So they are trying to make these laws for themselves to say for the 4 years that they are sitting in the chambers, they will not have to go to court. They are immune from criminal charges. I think it's basically charges, criminal charges, or civil charges, or any charges.
Yeah,
for the period of time. So now when you look at this, is worsening already a bad situation, because one of the major problems we have with the 1999 Constitution is the lack of accountability. So the people cannot hold the leaders accountable. And now they are extending it by giving them immunity that the police cannot even listen to you, or the court can't even listen to you in this case because they are immune. So they are making it worse in the entire situation. And it's getting scary and terrible. And that is why we need to react fast and alert the public to this evil that they are bringing upon us.
Thank you. I know, yeah.
So now, Donald, does this now explain when we're talking about NINAS and the other self-determination groups talking about corruption being legal in the Constitution? Isn't that what this means?
Now, you see, before, the challenges we had before that we're calling for the outright wholesale withdrawal of the Constitution was because one would say corruption is legitimized, is because of the clause in section 6 of section 6C that does not allow you to hold leaders responsible for your benefits. Now they are going a step further. That is for your benefits. So that also means that you can be assaulted You can be assaulted and you cannot hold them responsible, because before they did not have this immunity. You could still take them to court, maybe for charges of criminal offenses, assaults, misbehaviors like the ones we saw, all those things. Now they are taking out that one right too, saying that while they are in office, the same thing that Section 6 did, said the court will not listen to you if you go to ask for your civil rights, your benefits.
Wow.
Now they are saying that the court will not listen to you if you have issues of criminal offenses, civil offenses, or
human rights
anything, your financial cases. You cannot go and say, oh, they took money that belongs to the people. You can't do that now because they are immune, just like you cannot take the governor to court for misappropriation of funds. Now you cannot take while he's in office. You can only do that after he has left office. So now they want to extend it to the guys in the chambers and the guys in the judiciary too. So you cannot, you see, all these guys are trying to do these things to protect the elites against themselves. Because you remember the president could use his powers, use the security agencies to go and attack judges in the House or arrest senators. So now these guys, they want to protect themselves by law and say, look, you cannot do that to us. In as much as the people could not do that to us before, even you, the executive, cannot do that to us. So they are all getting to the level of absolute point of being above the law. So that is the evil that is coming upon us.
Yeah.
And we need to find a way to stop it, to respond to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Donald. So if I understand you very well, you're saying that currently, what we have with the executive branch, that's the president and his people, and his his ministers and whatnot and his appointees.
No, just the president and
just the president
and the governors.
Because
they are the ones that have the existing immunity.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So the president, the executive branch of government, right? Is that what that is, right? So currently they have the immunity to do as they wish, right? For example, they can go into people's homes in the middle of the night and kill people there, just like they can send their DSS and D whatever that they have, within their powers to harass innocent citizens, and they cannot be held accountable. So are we saying that they can extend that to the legislature and the judiciary?
That is what the legislature.
So you're telling me that a representative from my unit, from my region, can say, that girl, I need to teach her sense. Go to her house. They can do that with this extension.
It's crazy.
What it actually means is that if they do that to you, you cannot
hold them to account.
Cannot hold them.
I know.
The law cannot hold them at that moment because they are immune to charges, criminal charges. The law, no matter what they do to you, they assault you, like what we witnessed from.
If they infringe on my fundamental human rights, also, yes. Donald.
No, for instance, when you remember the senator from Adamawa State that assaulted a lady in a salon. There was a public outcry, and they were threats of charging the matter to court, and it was a case of assault. Now you could not do that to a governor because the governor is immune. You can't do that. You have to wait till after the expiration of his tenure because he's immune. You can take him to court and charge him. So
it's
now the guys in the chambers also want to get that immunity to themselves. So no matter what they do, the police. Security agencies cannot touch them. They become untouchable as long as they are occupying that office. That office makes them immune to charges, prosecution. That's the word, to prosecution. You cannot prosecute them. So you can't do anything to them. That's why in these days, currently, you see governors only being charged after they have left office. You cannot take them to court because they are immune.
Yeah. So let's talk about the impact on the masses. Let's talk about the impact on the masses. Now, so we have a constitution, right? How does this impact them their day to day? Can they now go to they can go to the governor and demand for their benefits? So now you're saying that now what this bill, which says that they're going to, specifically number 42 says, bill for an act.
Yes. Sorry.
To alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, which is actually, people, Military Decree 24,
1999.
extend immunity to the legislative and judicial arms of government and for related matters. So now they can't even go to their senators and legislators to get help, to get anything from this country.
No. What it means, it doesn't mean you cannot go to them.
You can, but you can't hold them accountable.
You can't hold them accountable.
What it means is that you cannot go, you cannot prosecute them. Courts cannot prosecute them.
So the citizens have no rights. If the president, the governor, the senators, the House of Rep, and the court are immune, what?
So what kind of democracy is that?
Oh my God! What?
It's not a democracy.
Exactly.
It's an extension of a military rule.
The whole idea is that the people, they do not care about anybody. They are just trying to protect themselves from themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
at the detriment of the people.
Are being left completely
to the wind. To the wind.
Yes. They have no food. 90 million because the money is going to the politicians. And now, even the little bit of money that would have been trickling out from senators and the House of Reps, that's going to stop. And the court is now immune. So when the court issues judgments, and we know we have Atiku in court, guys, let's pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
We have Atiku in court wanting to take over from Buhari without having to go to elections. So if this court, they're going to rush this through. Let's talk about how quickly this is going through, okay? They're going to rush this through. And then the court is now going to say that Atiku is rightfully the president. And so he takes over for Buhari.
Oh, you see,
the court is immune.
Yeah.
No, the immunity is not for the courts. The immunity is not for the court itself.
Judicial arms of government, Donald. Judicial.
When they mean judicial arms of government, it's just like when you say the executive arms of government has immunity. It's basically the president himself and the governors. The ministers do not have immunity. The ministers are not immune.
I'm talking about the amendment. The
amendment. Are you? Let me. Yes. Can we put that up so we can?
That's what I want to explain.
The judicial arm is now going to be immune.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to explain. When they say the judicial arm, just like they say the legislative arm, it means the principal officers.
Yeah.
Just like in the executive arm, it's just the principal officers. Does not mean the advisors. Does not mean the ministers and so forth. They are all part of the
system. We're talking about the
court system. We're looking for 42.
The court system. The court system is not immune. Okay. It is the principal officers, the judges, and the senators and the Federal House of Representatives.
That is who is important. It's right there. Judicial arms of
the government.
Yeah, I did say judicial. Yeah, sorry.
It's right there, Donald.
It did say judicial.
Judicial arms of government. And that could cover a whole spectrum. Wow.
Yes, it does.
That's what I'm saying. You see, I'm trying to explain this. When they say the judicial arms on expansion of immunity, the expansion of immunity is to give the judiciary the same benefits that the executive has, and also giving that to the legislature. So now when you look at the current position, what does the executive has? It is only to the principal officers. So shall it apply to this. It is not a very dangerous aspect when it comes to the judiciary.
Donald, I disagree with that completely. There's no way you can interpret this for them.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. We cannot because that scope they can put it anywhere. There is nobody that will be held to accountable.
And the judges.
we have a
But
problem.
they haven't said it. But they haven't said the judges. They've said the judicial.
The judicial.
The judicial. It says
Judicial
here.
branch.
Yeah.
Exactly. You cannot limit what they're saying
Can I
because they
say
put the
something
whole
real quick,
thing.
guys?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We have other people on the forum. If there's anyone here who wants to help us, to kind of, synthesize or break this down further, who may also be knowledgeable about, the law and constitution, please feel free to chime in because we're trying to kind of, get a better understanding of what is really going on. So, is there anyone here who wants to help?
We have Topman, we've got Paul.
Number 42 amendment.
Let's go on Kaduna.
Amendment number 42 is saying, yes.
Anybody, please. We'd like to hear from you.
We'd like to hear from you.
It's okay if they don't have anything to say.
Okay. All right then.
This is very dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, this goes beyond.
Yes, no doubt.
This is beyond
anything. We cannot trivialize it. Yes, we cannot trivialize it.
No.
It's because they can. I'm telling you, they have some sleeves up there. I mean, they have
some tricks up their sleeves.
Okay,
yes.
let's think about this. Okay, so they put together. If the legislative body puts together a bill, and the people disagree, we have no way of disagreeing with anything that they're doing anymore.
Jane, hold on 1 second. Sister Tinu, do you want to chime in because she's actually an attorney and so she can actually
fantastic
help us. Yeah,
please.
Good afternoon, everybody.
I'm sorry. Go on camera. That would be great because we are live.
Yeah, that's okay. But I'm not that decent to show my face. I was just I was told about this forum just few hours ago. So, but I said to myself that I'm coming on just to hear what everybody has to say. And that is why I just wanted to say one or two things, and it may not actually satisfy the question that is right now on the table. And what am I saying? I'm talking in terms of the immunities, the privileges and immunities clauses, that are always in every country's constitution, and so is in Nigeria's. So, I was trained as a lawyer in Nigeria, and I left the country even as after my post-bar and all that, and my youth corps. But I have really brushed up myself on the 1999 Constitution. Mm-hmm. But what we have now on the table, of course, we all know that 1999 Constitution is a fraud, so we don't want to beat that dead horse, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's leave it to rest. Mm-hmm. Now, this new thing, I was hearing about it. I have not really truly read the document or the assertions or any propositions that allegedly is before the National Assembly. But hearing all of you talk, I want you to do two things for us. For this forum, yeah, we are few, but you know how our recordings and videos can go viral? Mm-hmm. So when it goes viral, for the benefit of those people who will be viewing it and hearing it at a later time. Because I see us, what's my brother's name? The Uncle Donald Echo, mm-hmm. that first spoke. You thought the language of the proposition was in one way, and my sister Jane and the Uncle Ogundimu think is on the other end. So what I want to encourage or enjoin us to do for the benefits of all our people that we will be carrying along, when they see this video, is number one, to help ourselves to understand fully what this means, so that we are able to properly direct and say to our audience, who are also our people, and we're saying it to us also, so that we will properly directly channel their energy and their minds and their thoughts into the right angle. That's number one. And the other one is mostly like it, as in education. So when we now get ourselves taught, then we are able to for certainly project out there and say whatever we have to have people to know out there so that we are not leading our people astray. So that being said, I clear that. So I thought if I come back home to the legalese, immunities, privileges and immunities clauses, as I've postulated, are always almost in every democratical form of governmental nation, right? In every country. Now, what that means is that of course, it's the crime or anything that maybe the president and even here in the United States, the senators, whatever crime or things that they did, maybe in the course of discharging their duties, then they may necessarily not be prosecuted. If there has to be, it's not an open door for okay, well, you can go and commit crime. No, for every rule and every law, we always have an exception. And sometimes, usually the exception kind of swallow the rule so that it would be like, okay, yeah, this is the rule. Well, except A, B, C, D. By the time they are done with all the exceptions, you are better off not committing that crime. Okay, so that is what they put in the laws in every democratically form of government. And this is the only way why they're going back to look at what our president, ex-president Donald Trump did, So they started to investigate him. The courts are doing their things. And what am I saying? I'm saying that, yeah, we may not necessarily be able to prosecute them, but it does not immune them after, post of their office. Now, that is one. But also the exceptions are, some things are gross negligence, some things are recklessness, some things are wicked actions. All those things, like I hear Dr. Adebayo trying to say, human rights issues, all those things. You cannot, if it's against human rights and equity and good conscience, it's totally out. You can't do it. End of story. So what am I saying? Us, on this forum and elsewhere, where we will now have to get out our education, because to me, I don't know what some of those lawyers are doing in Nigeria or even human rights advocates. We are supposed to be standing and advocating. People don't hear it, speak in the language they understand, but I can't teach anything I don't know or have. So that's where I'm coming. I will put it upon myself to read through and digest it before I will open my mouth to advise either way. So that is what I just want to contribute. Thank you all so much.
That was a very loyally response.
I do need to make a clarification, guys.
Very
a clarification, guys. In America, it's only the president that is immune. Governors are not immune. Senators are not immune. You see them being persecuted every day. And House of Rep are not immune. Only
like Graboyevich, or what's his name? Our Illinois president, governor. One time Illinois governor. And that is, you see, Jane, I love you. That is exactly what I'm saying. So in democratic form of government, they always have that exception. They will tell you, and they limit it.
I would love to.
I know. I'm not saying governor. I am saying to you, I'm only supporting what you said.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm saying this to say that this is one example that we can use at home to say that it is only the governor, the president. He should not cover the governor. He should not cover the legislators, the looters, the senators, and we will educate them why it shouldn't cover all those people. And we will also have them know why it will cover the president for now, not forever.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Education is key.
Exactly. Yeah, because even in the context of Nigeria, right, we always see, I mean, EFCC, what have they actually done? Have we not seen the people that have bold-faced gone through corruption, right?
Indeed.
We know them. We know the past governors. We know the past senators. What has actually come from it? Who
Nothing.
has actually paid anything? In the meantime, the citizens, the masses are suffering.
Indeed.
The masses are suffering.
They are being
not being
harassed
paid.
every day. Everyday harassment.
Yeah.
But not just that. Our legislative, our lawmakers are the highest paid in the
world.
90 billion people living in poverty. What is going on? And to your point, I love what you're saying, Auntie Tinu, about what are the attorneys in Nigeria doing?
Well, I think they're probably being stuffed.
To protect the masses. This is too much.
So I want us to segue into another part of the proposed amendments, and that's the one that speaks to citizenship. So yeah, I want us to take a look at that real quick. Bear with me for a second.
We have Citizen AY. Can you lead us in that, please? Citizen AY.
And let me display that real quick.
Okay, good.
Because I have that, so that we can actually take a look at that together.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
We can see your screen, but we're still on 42 now.
So we need the one for this one. Right?
Yeah.
That's number 36. Go ahead, Citizen AY.
Okay, yes.
Before you start, Manupe, a quick question.
I'm sorry? You cut off for a minute.
A quick question. Do you have the information on what's already in the Constitution with the, with the whole thing about citizenship? And then if we can also play the, Bauchi governor video about citizenship.
Yes.
AY, before you start out the offer.
Yes.
Because I think that's important.
So which one do you want, the Bauchi governor first or the provision relating to citizenship?
The Bauchi.
No, let's play the video on the Bauchi governor, what he has to say about citizenship.
Yeah.
Okay, let me, I
Then
have to find
that. AY, because that would now help us to understand, where this is going.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, hold on for me 1 second. Continue speaking.
Now,
I think the contribution by Sister Tinu was really was on point.
Yes,
with
indeed.
regards to what those provisions are and to what extent they can actually maneuver through it. So go ahead, Citizen AY.
Now, yes, speaking to that section 38 that you talked about, one of the things I'm going to just read, is it 30? 36. Bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to expand the scope of citizenship by registration and related matters. Already, you can see what this government are trying to do. They are opening up, they've written it in such a way that it is actually going to lend itself to allow, anybody to actually come in. It's not restrictive. Already, you can just in the last page it says expand scope of citizenship by registration. Now the question is, it's fine if you are going to expand that scope for everybody, but in the next video that you're about to see about Governor Bala Mohammed, you will see that scope is only restricted to and including only the Fulanis, and there lies the problem.
Hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead. I think I need to mute myself. Okay. I'm trying to get the video.
Okay.
Sorry.
There lies the problem right there. Because they have given, and the reason why this is a problem is it goes back to the central point again. Unless and until we have the collective voice of the people being reflected in any proposition of a document being put forward as a constitution, we will always end up in a situation where those who draft that constitution will skew that constitution to suit their personal objective and aims. And this is what we are faced with right now. Again, this exemplifies why we need to we must rip up that 1999 constitution, because it is full of holes and areas that they can use to exploit to achieve their aim, which is to benefit non-indigenous people and disadvantage pointedly the indigenous people. These are, I mean, let's hear the Governor Bala Mohammed video, and it will cement what I'm saying in terms of the last bit of that 36 bill. Scope of citizenship by registration and related matters. Let's listen to the video. Thank you.
To see that because our people are mostly transhumans, and that we have this vision to create an economic nucleus around.
There you go. You got it?
I'm sorry?
Full screen.
Livestock. And of course, with all the value chain that you can get around livestock, the blood, the horn, the skin. And of course, we will try more to cultivate that culture in our people, while at the same time bringing the Fulanis in one fold and try to arrest their traditional practice of moving from one place to the other. And that is very big, an uphill task. But I think we can communicate with them more, because to them they don't have borders from Cameroon to Nigeria.
But that's the thing, Your Excellency. How do we ensure that those who will be participating in this federal government largely funded program will be Nigerians?
In terms of the funding?
No, in terms of
the operations.
Operations. You said to bring in the Fulanis together. We have Fulanis from other countries.
The issue of misconception, I said there is a lot of mistrust and misconception with regards to the Fulani man. The Fulani man is a global or an African person. He moves from the Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is just a Fulani man. And as a person, I may have my relations in the Cameroon, but they are also Fulani men. I have relations because from the maternal side, I'm a Fulani man. And that is why we want to educate people. A Fulani man sees himself as a Bayelsan, as somebody coming from the Niger Delta, because he speaks the Niger Delta language, which you and I don't. And of course, we would have to just take this as part of our own heritage, something that is African, and that we cannot just close the border and say the Fulani man is just a Nigerian or this. No. In most cases, the crises are precipitated by those outside Nigeria. When there is a reprisal, it is not the Fulani man within Nigeria that causes it. It is that culture of getting revenge, which is embedded in the tradition of the Fulani man, that attracts reprisal from all over the world.
If I understand, does that mean that those Fulani men who are maybe domiciled in other countries, who move around, they can come into the country and this plan will accommodate them as well?
Yes, that's what we want to do. But it has to be done through sensitization, telling them you have to buy in the project. And you use the language, the culture itself to be able to convince them. Away from the mistrust where the whole system of transhumance or pastoralism is criminalized. Criminalization of pastoralism is the problem that we have with this project. And it requires people with passion who understand them and who they believe in, people like us from that part of the country, to say, yes, we have this. Because today, there is no limit to the accusation that this and that has happened and it is the Fulani man who caused it. There is no tribe that is not, that you don't have this criminality in. But certainly, the way and manner we do it is really exacerbating the crisis and the problems.
Will there be any form of documentation of all the people that will be,
yes, we are
within that?
Oh yes, that is going to give Nigeria the opportunity to really have the best in terms of documentation in the demographics. Because, as I said, a Fulani man settles anywhere. Anywhere he can feed his cattle. And so, if they are put in one place and they are made to understand that this is to save them and their animals, they are exposed to the vagaries of the forest and what is going on, cattle rustling, killings and what have you, and that's why it is important for them to understand that staying in one place is good. And of course, in terms of the best practice of carrying the meat, the cows and the lorries.
Let's stay with that security angle for a bit. Is there going to be, this plan going to be a fenced enclosure where anyone who comes in is secured, so there is no one that can just come in from anywhere else.
No. It is going to be a colony, and a colony does not require a fence.
You will
It is not
understand
going
the
to be a
reason,
prison.
You will understand the reason why people are concerned because of all the security issues that have been happening over time. So if that...
These forests are there anyway. If you don't occupy them and create a colony out of them, they create places for the criminals. And today, that's why you have the Sambisa forest, because it is not being utilized.
But Your Excellency, much as yes, I mean, they're
Okay,
fantastic.
I'm gonna stop it here. Sorry, guys.
I have to breathe.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Let me just over. Let
me just say, let me just quickly say this, if I may. Now, one of the things that you will see from that broadcast, what you will see is that the Constitution is geared towards exactly what this governor is saying. And that is why they're saying scope of citizenship by registration for related matters. They are hiding all of these plans behind that innocuous words. And these are, and again, this just, for, you see, if you had a truly democratic constitution where the people's voices were heard, we would be allowed to vote on this. They could table this if they want, but we would have the option to vote on it via referendum. The problem is we haven't been given that option, and that is the problem. Until the people's voices are heard on whatever they put before us, so we can see with our own eyes, we can hear. Everybody in this room, we're all boiling from what we've heard. You're telling us that a Fulani man from Cameroon or from anywhere is in Bayelsa, from
Gambia,
inside, or from Gambia, anywhere. But yet, when we talk about
Nigerian citizens,
and let me give you one example that is really shocking and sickening to today. Mark Wheeler was tabling a motion on the floor of the House, whereby he was talking about the displacement of thieves in thief land by Fulani headsmen. And would you know that the Ahmed Wase that you pointed out that was reading that nonsense about the proposed amendment in the Constitution, he said they couldn't table any motion because they are not Nigerians living inside Nigeria, because they're living abroad.
Yes.
Can you hear the absurdity of what we are faced with? So we cannot have a meaningful discussion with these people. We can't.
Great point, AY. Great point.
Look, we need to. I am urging my Middle Belt brothers, my Igbos, my Yorubas, please. We need to come together and we remove ourselves from the contraction. Because if we do not, all of us, if we do not do that, they will continue to oppress us with this injustice. I'm going to stop there. Let others have a say. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Ayo, I think Mr. Faleti wants to speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir. Right.
Thank you, ma'am. AY, allow me to make a correction based on our conversation that we had yesterday night.
Okay.
We don't have a constitution. We have a military decree, aka constitution.
Yes.
A military decree.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes. So the more we start reminding the populace that we are being ruled by a military decree in a so-called democracy, the more the people will get really sensitized. Since that idiot was using the term sensitization.
Yes.
Okay. So we really need to, so he's correct on that point. We really need to sensitize the masses that we are being ruled in a democracy by a military decree labeled as a constitution. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, but this is not a democracy. We have to make sure that
it is
so-called.
So-called. Yeah, true. So-called. Yeah. Okay. So Okay. Yeah. Brilliant. So now, let me. In fact, go ahead. I'll let others talk, and because I've just seen one or two things that I wanted to bring on board. Is this from the Constitution that you're looking at right now, or from?
Yeah, this is the Constitution. This is from the Constitution.
Yeah,
citizenship by registration. So basically, this is what they want to amend, right? This is exactly what they want to amend: citizenship by registration. And this is what it is currently. So if you go over it currently, you will see.
Yes, I remember now.
Right now, it's the president. See, the president is the one who needs to be satisfied to grant the citizenship by registration.
Yes.
In the US, it's a process.
Yeah.
But only in Nigeria is the president.
Yeah.
The person who
That
kind of,
it's crazy. So
yes.
So the president will oversee 200 million people, right? And decide who are going to join them.
Everything.
So
not people. The money, the person who's running for office, he oversees all of that.
This is crazy. Look, my people, this exemplifies why we must completely reject, and we have to be vociferous in our call for our people to know that we are being ruled by a promulgation decree number 24 of 1999, which is and remains and shall always be a military document. And this document is a fraud. It is a fraud. It is a fraud that we must reject, and we have to urge all our people to wake up. And this example, this 26 tells us a president having to oversee who is going to be either accepted as a citizen or not. He's got more important job to do than that, like safety and security. That is his number one priority. And putting the tip, he hasn't got time to be looking at who's coming in and who's going out. But the fact that they're doing that is trying to make sure they engineer the process, allowing more Fulanis to come in. We need to reject this. And our people need to be aware of this. But I'll stop there. Let others come in. Thank you very much, Wodupe. I'm sorry if I jumped in. I just had to say that.
Donna, can you please address citizenship by birth?
Yeah, Jane. Thank you, Ayo. I'm just displaying the what the decree. I mean, what gave birth to the Constitution.
Indeed.
So I'm just displaying that again on the screen,
yes.
so that you see that, right? And yes. It's signed here. You see how it says it?
Yeah, exactly.
The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, signed 5th day of May by Abdul Salam.
That's correct.
Chief of Armed Forces.
Yes.
You see that?
Yes.
Commander-in-Chief of the soul. How can a military decree be the Constitution for a democratic government? It's not possible. So what we have right now is an extension of the military rule. And that's why we have a unitary Nigeria rather than a federalism.
Indeed. Very, very, very key point. I wonder if anybody else would like to say something about this. Oh, I can see if anybody else wants to contribute to this, because I don't want to hog the mic.
If I may.
Yes, please, go ahead. Go ahead.
If I can, sir.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Uncle Ewa. I can see your passion. Yeah. So I wanted to piggyback on the citizenship clauses that we have in the Constitution. I know Dr. Adebayo and we had quite an interesting discussion on that particular thing, maybe yesterday or 2 days ago. And but it's very poignant and applicable right here and right now. So of course, we all know that the Constitution we have now, it's not anything that anybody did. Like my Uncle Valeti rightly said, is a fraud, and it's a military dictatorial document that is imposed on the civilian form of government, proposing and purporting us to believe that it is democratic. We all know it's a fraud, and let's not beat it. So now, to go about these amendments that they want to put in, see, every time, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I see that every time African governments, or even Nigeria in particular, want to copy something from the West, we almost always copy wrong. And we project, it looks as if we are copying the right thing. But in all honesty, in actually actualizing the proposition that they put forward, that is where they will miss it, because everything that is supposed to be put in place to actualize that thing to be what a normal society, a civil society would do, they don't do it. And why am I saying this? That statement alone that the presidency will do X, Y, Z, giving the president the authority to so determine or decide who can be a Nigerian citizen, right? It's not always done that way. And it's never a full stop after that kind of a statement. You're talking about, take for example, the Immigration and Nationalities Services here. Now they call themselves USCIS, okay? When they are processing people, yeah, the language may say, oh, the president or the chief executive or yada, yada, yada will do X, Y, Z, but he is not the one doing it. He has already delegated his authority to people who are in the executive form of government, the head of the departments. And what am I saying? Like the immigration, like the border patrol, like the law enforcement organizations and agencies. They have their delegated authorities and duties to assist the government, who is the president, to undertake and discharge his duties rightly and promptly. This is why you have the State Department. This is why you have embassies and consulates all over the world of other countries. And yes, of course, Nigeria projects to have some too, but we know what happens in their consulate offices all around the world. I'm not even going there. But what I'm saying is, you will have people processed appropriately and properly. The Border Patrol, the immigration, the law enforcement agencies, all of them, we have their processes and procedures that they need to go through and have people processed through before you can come back and say people are raising their hands to become Nigerian citizens. We have all gone through this in several countries, and I have certainly gone through it here in the United States. And this is why I'm saying, when we copy anything, we copy wrong. Now, to address the issue of that guy, is it the governor who you just played?
Bala Mohammed, yes.
Yeah,
Governor,
yes.
Governor of Bauchi.
To me is an old video, because I've heard it, I've seen it over and over, but I think it's a good thing and very relevant to educate our people. It's a good thing that we're playing it right now to address this issue. They know what they want. You know what? I believe that these people are actually patriotic to their own people. To their own ethnic background and culture. Yeah. We, the Yorubas, we, the Igbos, we, the Plateau people, we, the Tiv people, we, the people that are from Kanem Bonu, the Kanuri, all those people that have been displaced, from our ethnic and culturally and even the rightly possession that the Lord Almighty has given to us. We need to get off of our butts and help and advocate for ourselves too. And what am I saying? I sit on African Union board or chair somewhere, but what we say is we are one. I love my Blackness. I'm an African pride. I love being a Yoruba person, because Yoruba people is my people and my heritage, my culture. I am not going to say, hey, go away because you are an African from somewhere else. No, but if permit me to say this in Yoruba, they always say, "Nkan kinje ti baba tomo koma lala." That means the father and the child may point to something, that is unique, but at least there will be a demarcation. Like, okay, we always say, some of our grandparents, they have more than one wives, and then every time they will say, this one will say, my wife. Or even my brother-in-law can say, oh, my wife. That doesn't mean he will close his door behind me or put me on the bed, So there is still a demarcation. Yes. I'm still my husband's wife, but at the same time, I'm married into the family.
Yeah, exactly.
So what am I saying? So, yeah, you are an African from somewhere. Yeah, you are Fulani Bororo. I love you. But come to my nation and come and be legal. Legalized in the manner that the document has prescribed us to do. This is what we are doing. So I also can rise up and say, all my Yoruba people from the Caribbean, from South America, from Uganda, from Ghana, and then I'll say, come on. Yeah?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
One come all.
Yes.
There will be chaos. There will be chaos.
Yes.
I cannot say that. Now I'm saying it, but if I go through the law, it will be orderly. That is what we need them to do. And to support this, I want to read something for us because I know some of us know it. If we're talking about chapter 3 of the current Nigerian 1999 Constitution.
Yes.
I read this to Dr. Dupe. This is something that I myself delved into. The 1999 Constitution.
Chapter
I was
3.
already out of Nigeria. By the time it was, I don't want to say degree, but I know what it is. By the time they started using it, because I left in 94 December, I didn't use this. I used the 79 to practice and all that. But I made sure I delved myself into this. Now, when you're talking about citizenship, Buhari himself is not even a citizen of Nigeria as we speak. And I'm not saying this because people are saying it from their head or they feel. No, I'm saying it reading the Constitution, the fraudulent Constitution we're talking about. Even the way it is, he is not. Atiku is no. I mean, let me read it to you. 25A. Every person born in Nigeria before the date of independence, either of whose parents or any of whose grandparents belongs to a community to Nigeria, provided that a person shall not become a citizen of Nigeria by virtue of this section if neither
of his
parents nor any of his grandparents was born in Nigeria. We know that Buhari's father was born out of Nigeria. So where does that leave him? Then it says,
if you look down there, they now put the date of independence and then put it.
Listen, I'm going there. That's the big part.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Every person born after 1960. That's the big part.
Yeah.
Okay? He was born after 1960. And Buhari was not born after 1960, was he? No. He was born pre-1960.
Yeah.
Then the third one is everyone born outside Nigeria, either of whose parents is a citizen. Any one of those three things that I've listed, Buhari does not belong. So why are we now saying we have a president who is a Nigerian? Why do you now want him to do anything to favor a Nigerian, let alone a Yoruba? Impossible, like somebody I know would say. Impossible. Now we're talking about having government to process people. How do you process people? 26(1) Constitution, section 26, verse 1 or subsection 1 says, person of good character, who has a clear intent and desire to be domiciled in Nigeria. You can take the oath of allegiance prescribed in the Constitution. Is that what these Bororo people are doing? No. This is by registration. It's already in the Constitution. But they say if the president is satisfied. Yeah, if the president is satisfied, but it's not the president that will do it. It is the immigration that has the delegated authorities to do. I mean, I can go on and on, but I don't want to disrupt the flow of what I propose for myself. This is why I'm not showing my face. I told Stadupe that I will come and listen, but I can't
This is
really
good knowledge,
listen
though.
without saying, because this thing provokes me, And I mean, let me burst your bubble before I keep short, if I can use the word. Okay, so look at 27. Of course, this is for citizenship or naturalization. Uh, Anyone who is of full age and capacity, person of good character, shown clear intention and desire of domiciliary in Nigeria. This is the same as the above. But then it says, listen, for people who are saying that our governors must accommodate the Tiflanis, the killers, the murderers, the rapists in our forests,
kidnappers,
extortionists, on and on. It says state governors' opinion, state governor's opinion matters wherever anyone who wishes to reside in Nigeria, right? It matters. And it says that state governor, it says that the person must be acceptable to the local community in which he is to live permanently and has been assimilated. These are strong words. Assimilated into the way of life of Nigerians in that
part
of
the federation.
That part of the federation, and it says a person has made or capable of making useful contribution. Listen to all those words to the advancement, progress, and well-being of Nigeria. I keep hearing people,
ma'am. Sister Tinu, they are making contributions. They're killing our people.
They are killing us.
Listen,
that's what their contributions are.
I'm going there. Can you just imagine? I want to digress. I want to digress a little bit by telling us that I keep hearing, and I am for it, that in our Yoruba nation, in Delta nation, when it has to happen, in Igbo nation, the Biafra, I propose Yoruba should be our first language and official document.
Absolutely.
Official language.
Benny.
Because perhaps we will understand what these people are hiding in English for us, And this is hiding in plain sight. It tells you, and I'm talking about the words they use in what I've just read, permanently assimilated into the way of life in that part of the federation. And that person must be capable of making useful contribution to the advancement, progress, and well-being of Nigeria. What has Fulani Bororo brought to us? First, before I even answer that, let me ask us, do you know, in your own opinion, because in my opinion, I don't see it happening. In my opinion, the local Fulani who come, the foreign, or even anyone, because Fulani is not ethnic to Nigeria anyway.
They are not
so
there.
The Fulanis who come, either the foot soldiers or even the elitist Fulanis, the governors, now in some of those northern states, all of them, neither one of them, in my opinion, intend to permanently reside in Nigeria. They are not assimilated into the way of life of anybody in Ogun State, not in Oyo State, not in Osun State, not in Kogi, not in Kwara, not in Biafra, or the Middle Belt. Because if you want to really assimilate to the way of life, they say, come and do ranch. You're saying no, you want to do wildlife. What is that? You want to roam about. You want to go and extort. You want to forcibly enter into people's land, farmland, take over, extort, destroy,
kill,
take by force the farm products, the sweat of poor people, and then take that by force and give it to your own cattle. You are trespassing onto people's land. You are raping my girls and my women. You are killing, you are maiming, you are destroying people's lives, the youth, the young men. That is why they are targeting our young men, because the young men carry the seed that the woman puts in, bakes, God fully baked, and brings out after 9 months.
Can I say something real quick, Sister Tinu?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, my sister. I was actually I think there was the clip that I saw in on YouTube. It was one of the police officers in one of the states, I think in Oyo State or something, and he was explaining that when the Fulanis come to your they get reports that when Fulanis come onto the farmland and they bring their cattle and blah blah blah, that the first thing people should do should be to call them. But people will not call them. They will first of all, maybe fight the Fulani or maybe injure the Fulani, and then the Fulani will or kill the cattle or kill one of the, kill one of the cattle, and then will now come into the police, to the police and say, no, he said that then the Fulani will come and report that that the owner of the farm, injured him or his animal, that in that case, that they will arrest the person is because you took laws into your hands. And I said, police, you don't even understand the law that you're supposed to be enforcing. That you're supposed to be upholding. That's trespass. Somebody comes into my house.
Thank you.
And I use something to kind of, wake them off, and you're telling me that you're going to arrest me?
Yeah.
That's what you guys said.
I mean, Sister Dupe, it's not just
that is going on amongst our people. It's like they've taken our rights away from us. You're saying somebody will come to somebody's farm and they should come to you and report first?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying our statutes, our laws must be written in the language that we understand.
I just noticed something about that constitution.
Yes, sir.
Let me just point out something.
If my grandparents are still living, if they live in the village, if the language of the constitution or the laws are in Yoruba, they will be able to understand it.
Exactly.
And this is why I'm saying, Sister Dupe, it's not just trespass to that goods, to the chattel, as the legalists would go. It's also trespass to the land. That land, number one, is unlawful entry. The second thing is that you come into my land, now you are taking without my permission, possibly taking. That is not only what do we call it? Theft offenses. It's trespass to my church.
Exactly, trespass. Exactly.
Trespass to my church. No, it's not burglary.
It's trespass. It's trespass.
Okay, no, I'm just saying,
you are trespassing to my
I know you are the legal person, but I know if somebody comes into my house uninvited, you definitely you are a thief to me.
Exactly, you are a thief. Not only are you a thief, you come. You did not come in peace. Let's even say that. You came with an AK-47. What does the herder need to do with an AK-47? You come into my house. You come with AK-47. And you think if I have Ogede, if I have a bomb, whatever form, you think I will not direct it at you? Because number one, you breached my peace.
Well, police is going
breach
to
of peace. And then you're coming into my... Exactly, you come into my territory, my farm. You trespassed, and then you take away from me. You intend to take away from me without my consent to use to develop or further your own business transaction or your own business, right? So what is that? Now, let me burst your bubbles. People don't read this. Section 44. And I'm going to keep quiet after I put this in
please, Donald, you speak.
You speak, exactly.
Let my sister finish. Then I think Paul has his hand up.
Yes.
So that, so in that order, I think we'll have Paul and then Donald will chime in. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So, they are quick to point towards Section 43, which says, every citizen of Nigeria has rights to acquire and own immovable property anywhere in Nigeria. And the last time I checked, it says every citizen. It's not just anybody. Now, this number, section 44, is where we don't read, but we need to go back and read it. And you will see when I'm done with it. It says no movable property or any interest in an immovable property shall be taken possession of compulsorily. This is like an eminent domain thing, if you know what the foreign laws are, the US and all that. So it's the equivalent of eminent domain. And it says, and no right over or interest in any such property shall be acquired compulsorily in any part of Nigeria. And listen to the except in the manner prescribed by law. And it says, if they now take it, eminent domain, if the government says, okay, yeah, we are taking over your land, okay, we want to do this, now we will require prompt payment of compensation, a right of access to determine your interest. This is like investigation, right?
Yes.
So that they will know what they will give to you. And then the amount of compensation to a court of law or tribunal or body having jurisdiction in that area or property. Why did I bring this on? Because with the example Sister Dupe just gave, I didn't even know you are going to say that, but it actually ties into this. People come into my house or let's say farmland. They come into my farmland unannounced, unconsented, illegally, and then you take it from me. You stealing from me. And me, that you stole from, I went to the police station, right? And I complained. Now you are faulting me. Why are you faulting me? If anything, these people are the people you should actually lawfully, legally detain.
Exactly.
Because number one, the government has not taken over my property from me. And they cannot take over without the necessary steps and processes that are supposed to be prescribed under the law as referenced in the Constitution. Yeah? And the Constitution of that state too. Because the local jurisdiction has control and authority over wherever my farmland is. So they didn't even compensate me. And you are saying not to talk, and they are coming at me by force with AK-47. So what is going on? And I'll be quiet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my sister. Paul, I think Paul has his hand
Yes.
up. Yes, please.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. So I've been listening to the conversations. My question or concern is about the proposed amendments the National Assembly wants to make to the Decree 24 that they call 1999 Constitution.
Yes.
So my question is this: I don't know, is there no strategy we can put in place to at least see how we can reach all those lawmakers that are from the Middle Belt and Southern part of Nigeria, to let them know that whatever they are trying to do is a failed attempt at making things better in Nigeria, that everything is screwed in favor of the Fulani North, and that doing that amendment is not the way forward, that they should be talking about going, proposing a new constitution that the people will themselves decide. That is what I feel we should find a way to reach them, so that, because whatever they do, everything will still be screwed in favor of the far north. They are in majority at the National Assembly, and they use their majority in doing whatever they want to do. So whatever they want to do now, it won't be good for the Middle Belt and Southern Nigeria. We saw what Bala Mohammed was saying in that interview with Channels TV last year. And this is part of their grand plan to spread their people across the country and take over our lands, which they are already doing in small bits already. So I think we should find a way to reach them. Some of them, we understand what we are saying. I don't think we have really reached them somewhere. So I don't know if there's a way we all can find a way to reach them. Not all of them, but some of them who know that at the National Assembly there, that their voices are low and this is not the way to go for a country. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Before you come in, Donald, I just want to respond quickly to part of what Paul said. So, Paul, you said to reach those people, they already made the recommendations. They already met. So it's too late now to do that. That's number one. Then number two, they don't even have the authority to even make the amendments because first of all, that constitution is not even acceptable to us. So that's not us. So we should not be reaching out to them. We're actually giving credence to their foolishness. What we should be doing is to educate our people that act is unacceptable. That constitution is not ours. And so any amendment is null and void. That's it. We just need to be educated about it. That, hey, we spread the word around. We spread it around that constitution is not ours. So you can amend it all you want. That's not ours. It does not belong to us because we did not create it. So I think that should really help us. Then secondly, when you said something about actually there's a part that you said that I wanted to but I forgot that right now. But I'll let Donald because Donald has been waiting to speak all this while. So I'll just yield to you, not Donald.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I just wanted to point out something while the barrister was speaking. See, I was looking at the Constitution itself. You see, because these guys, it appears they really know what they're doing. In that clause, there's a place that citizenship by birth where it talks about individuals that are born in the territory of Nigeria after 1st October that have at least a parent or grandparent who belongs or belonged to a community indigenous to the geographical location known as Nigeria. Then if you look at it, it went on to say communities indigenous to Nigeria include Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, Igbo, Kanuri, Efik, and so forth, Orobo, Kanuri. You see, what I wanted to point out is that they went ahead to indicate Fulanis as Hausa Fulanis. They did not say Fulani as an indigenous tribe. They said Hausa Fulani. But when you see them talking about themselves, they know they are Fulanis. But when it went to the constitution, the part that talked about the indigenous communities, it indicated Hausa Fulani, not Fulani.
Sorry, Donald, what section is that again? Just remind me what section.
No, I was looking at
25. Section 25.
Okay, that's
citizenship by birth.
Yeah, okay,
and
yeah, see that now.
And what Donald is saying is very critical because they're grafting themselves as indigents.
Yeah.
And Modupe, I know you have the definition of what an indigent is, and it isn't what's in the Constitution. Okay, indigents cannot be grafted into a land, right? Because indigents are people with ancestral. They are ancestral. The Fulani are foreigners. They are visitors. They are from Futajalan and other places, not Nigeria. They're not indigenous, but they have grafted themselves in on the back of the Hausas and Hausa/Fulani, which is not the same thing. And so pretty much they are not citizens by birth. Because they don't have the qualifications, but they're piggybacking off of the indigenous houses that they have quote unquote conquered.
It's just a very unfortunate thing because it looks as if everybody here are very stupid, and because they know it's not something that we would, because what location, what geographical location would we say the Fulanis are indigenous to? In all the states they are. You see some of them in Ilori, are they indigenous to Ilori? You see some of them in Kano, are they indigenous to Kano? Are they indigenous to Bauchi? Are they indigenous to Adamawa? No, all those places have tribes that belong to those places. So now when they want to write, they know that in the constitution they say Hausa Fulani. When they say use the word Hausa Fulani, it's like a class definition, not individualized. for people to say, this is where you come from. They know that. And our people in the South, when you try to explain this, they say, oh, you're not being correct, because they want to sound correct. And the people themselves know the truth. And people over here try to give the excuses on their behalf. So these are things that our people really need to know, because, okay, for instance, let's not go too far where people are not aware of. Let's say Lauren here. Lauren is just here. Where are the, how are the Fulanis, the indigenous? How are they, is that their ancestral land? No.
No.
It's the same thing. In Adamawa State, it's the same thing. In Katsina State, it's the same. I remember in 2015, I went to most of these places. And in all these places, you had the real indigenous. Then you have these settlers that multiply and tend to, they put themselves, they have the emir, they appoint the emirs and so forth, and they claim to come from there. The Fulani man you see on the street, you say, where are you from? He says, I'm from Niger. Where are you from again? He says, I'm from Kebbi. Because they don't know exactly where they come from, because they do not belong here. These are the things we need to, and it's unfortunate that we are keeping quiet. And now they're coming up with citizenship by registration.
Yeah.
Meaning that they're somebody's just going to go put his name in the book, and even ignore the fraudulent constitution that actually says that it is the governor and the community that must accept people before such a person is registered as a citizen. You know, but they are just going ahead to, like what the Baptist State governor said, we've been doing it all the while. And that's the truth, they've been doing it. They've been using our funds to look at, there is one document, I don't know if I can still find it, that it's an amendment for northern Nigeria. They want to have these colonies in all the northern states. They want to have ranches in all the northern states. They want all the northern governors to form Fulanis to trade level, you know, all these craft stuff, educational stuff. They want the governments of the states to do that. You know, so they are actually bringing in these people, and we are just here. So like I mentioned earlier, that I think we should do something. We should not just talk. We should make these publications, make these releases in the newspapers to alert people, for people to actually have details of this evil coming towards us. That's just what I wanted to throw in as we.
Yeah, I wanted to, this is Jane, I wanted to clarify a couple of things. It's never too late for us to raise our objection, because when you're silent is always taken to mean that you acquiesce what's being said. And so we cannot be silent. It can be after it's signed. I don't care when it is. We need to raise our voices as the indigents. Now, there are a couple of things in what the Bauchi governor says that we have to listen to, because they're trying to amend this. He said that the Fulani people in Bayelsa speak the Bayelsa language, and we don't. I won't be surprised if they're going to amend it. If you can speak the language of the area, you're a citizen. And he's talking about colony. Yeah. They're going to put colonies in all the forests. In all the forests in the south, right? They're going to put Fulani colonies, and what Donald is talking about is that those colonies, they're now going to use your money, the money of the masses, the 90 million that are in poverty, to train foreigners to land. Exactly. Foreigners are going to be trained while our people are dying of hunger. I mean, this is absolutely preposterous. It is so egregious. Yes. And I'm going to be silent, but I'm not going to take everything over. But it is egregious.
Thank you, Jean. I want to say this quickly. Yeah. Jean, exactly the point that you just made right now. Look at the amendment number 38. It says that they are going to change the criteria. Yeah. The criteria for the qualification to become an indigenous.
That's exactly in Nigeria for which it matters.
You see that example of Bayelsa idea?
Absolutely.
You know, you see that example? Absolutely. This is exactly what this is. So it's like he said it. He said they want to create a Fulani colony. Yes. So they're going to go to Bayelsa State.
Everywhere, in every state.
Exactly.
Every state.
And say the qualification here in Bayelsa is that, the Fulani can speak Bayelsa. So if you can speak Bayelsa, Boy, you're a citizen.
You're indigent. They're making you now become an indigent.
Yeah.
They're changing the definition. They already changed it in the 1999 fraudulent constitution, which is Military Decree 24, and really is not a constitution.
It isn't.
And now they're going to go push it even further because the Mumu indigents are not speaking.
This is why, honestly,
well, you know what? There are no mumus. They don't know. So we have to bring them to the
know. Our people that do know.
What?
We've got lawmakers. We've got governors.
Yeah.
We've got ministers. They do know or should know, or they need to move over so that the youth can take over.
Yeah.
Okay. Jane, listen, right? Today, actually, I was in a meeting, and then, the presenter said that, if you know your enemy, that you should know your enemy, you should also know the friends to your enemy. That if you do that, you would definitely win. You would win that enemy. And so right now we know who the enemies are, right? We know the Fulanis are, and then we know their friends, the politicians, just like that man said in his presentation. So all these governors that you're talking about, they are the friends. They are the friends.
They are complicit. They are complicit.
Yeah.
Exactly, they are the friends. So we know them. And that's what we need to be circulating. We need to let everybody know that your enemy is this, and the friend to your enemy is this.
Yes.
So the politicians
are giving themselves immunity. They're giving themselves immunity. Okay. All of this is all packaged up.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can see the hand of the British in this plan because the Fulani cannot come up with this plan themselves.
No.
Okay. There's a hand of the British in this plan and the Western world, in fact. Okay. Because Nigeria, Africa, we've seen all the videos of where Africa must be kept poor.
Yeah.
Africa must be kept starving.
Poor. Exactly.
Africa, we must reduce the people in Africa so that we can take their minerals, so that we can take everything that they have in the soil. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
And unless the masses in Nigeria rise, those in the diaspora that are over there fooling themselves about an election that's already been fixed.
Yeah.
An election that may not happen because now the judges are going to have immunity so that Atiku's case, once they say that he is now going to be president, no one can challenge that judge until they're out of office. Come on.
Yeah.
This is, I am scandalized that we have lawmakers who are not following what's going on. And I have to call on all the self-determination groups. Okay, what we're doing here, you all should be doing. We need to expose what's going on. It's not just about the mechanics of what we're doing. It's about making sure our people understand. Because when they understand, they will rise like the French masses rose and took down the monarchy. Okay, they took down the elite and reestablished democracy. That needs to happen in Nigeria. So all self-determination groups, even if you're for restructuring or you're for referendum or for restoration, whatever you are, you need to be getting this information repackaged, making sure it goes down to the dog. Yes, the dog in the villages. And I'll shut up.
No, thank you. Yes, we are. We are. This is like a minute now.
Paul had his hand up. Let's hear from him, and then we can just round up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
Okay, thank you. I'm following what you all are saying. The point I was making earlier, let me just request for that. When I mentioned those lawmakers from the north,
I think there's something with your audio. I'm not hearing you well. Can you move closer to the?
Okay, let me change to my. Let me switch to my. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I was with my earpiece earlier. So I was saying that when I mentioned those our lawmakers from the Middle Belt and Southern Nigeria, many of them don't really know like what Jean just explained now. It has not really dawned on them that if they are putting their hands on those amendments, they are invariably selling out our land to these core northerners. Yeah, they don't understand the after effects that will affect even generations yet unborn.
Yeah,
they don't know that yet. They only think of the pecuniary interest they will get. Don't be surprised now that money must have exchanged hands among them now to support this thing. And that is the way these northerners, because they control the pulse of the country. That is how they get this our Southern brothers and sisters in the National Assembly to support their evil plots.
Yes.
And so that is why we need to find a way to reason, to tell them that whatever benefit these people are giving you to make sure that you join them in supporting this move, if this thing becomes law, until the people rises and changes and they say no, we this must stop, these people will go ahead and plunder us and destroy our territory, take over our lands, and even their own children may not even be safe. Because not all their, okay, if they have their kids and wives abroad, what of their relatives in Nigeria?
Exactly.
Their parents and their siblings.
We are all open to attack. Open to attack.
Yeah, actually,
I think that area of
can you please bring up the Ahmadu Bello quote? This is a good time to end on that, because we need to clarify one thing, Paul. The core north, we need to separate the Hausas who are indigenous to the land and the Fulanese who have conquered the core north.
Yeah. Yes, you are right. Yes.
We need to separate that because we keep making that mistake. That's why they put in the Constitution, Hausa Fulani. The Hausa man is indigenous. The Fulani man
is not.
You are correct.
And the one to go on the back of the Hausas to become indigenous, you cannot do that.
In fact, let me even give you one example. I did my youth service in Bauchi in 1998. There, I discovered that Tafa Balewa local government, where the Prime Minister came from, are majorly Christians, as well as the local government of the former Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, that is Bogoro local government. Yeah. People from there, when you meet them, they want to talk to you. They will look around you and they will call you to a corner and tell you what they are facing. They can't talk openly about the suffering they are undergoing under this Fulani. So there are so many of them like that. They are even suffering so much. Then one more thing I want to mention again is this constant people in Southern Kaduna and some parts of Jos, some parts of Plateau. There's any way we can reach those people there, so we can give us more information about those things, so we can say it out to the world to know. Because the genocide that is happening in Nigeria is already ongoing.
It's ongoing.
It's going on.
What we have going on is an undeclared war. Honestly speaking, that is what is happening. It is an undeclared silent war. There's destruction on a massive scale. Ukraine has nothing on us. Ukraine has nothing on us on the amount of killings. Honestly.
Exactly. I have a friend from Plateau State who told me that from parts of Plateau have been taken over by these people. They have taken over their villages. They are living there as if they are from that place. Those Fulanis, they have driven their people away. And the governor, Lalong is not saying anything about it.
No. But let's talk about. Let me say one more thing about the Bauchi governor video, because that video needs to be dissected. There's so much in there. He said, "How can you tell the difference between the Fulani in Nigeria and the one outside of Nigeria?" I mean, this video gives us their master plan. And it's been out and we have not digested it. And we've been trying to share it and and point out everything that he says in there is what's going on the ground.
Yes, it is.
The colonies.
Yeah.
And the article that Donald was referring to is recent.
Yes.
It's recent. He talked about going into our forest, our ancestral land, and giving it
exactly.
Their identity.
Begging them to come in.
Yes. It's crazy.
So, on that note, we're going to continue this discussion because there's a lot to be said here.
Yeah.
But could you read that Ahmadu Bello statement? Because it helps to make it clear to our people how they see the indigenous Nigerians and especially the indigenous Hausa people. So we can see it. It is playing out today. If you can please read that for us. very slowly, very clearly, and we're going to end on that so people understand exactly what's going on. And yes, after that, please play the Bounty Governor video at the end, and we will end on that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So the new nation called Nigeria should be an estate of our great-grandfather, Uthman Dan Fodio. We must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. We use the minorities of the North as willing tools and the South as a conquered territory, and never allow them to rule over us, and never allow them to have control over their future. There you have it. He said it all, he summed it up.
Let me just add something there, Dr. Modukwe. Listen, I've actually translated this to Yoruba on my platforms. And that is what we need to do. Because when you're saying it to our people in English, it makes sense but it doesn't hit home. But if you say it in there, when people understood that, I could see some comments, and I'm going to be sharing that again and again and again. I'm going to share it again tonight, because the words are so, there is no hiding place. No. There is no hiding place. And I suggest that we do that too. The language of in Igbo, in Yoruba, in Efik, in Pidgin, in all of it, so that our people understand. Because that is what we need to get to.
And AY, the important videos that we need to translate and put in TikTok so that we can see the words scrolling across. The Bounty Governor video.
Yes.
The Danjuma video telling us exactly what's going on. We've got the also the another video by from the person from the Northeast, where he's saying exactly what's going on about the changing the dynamics of what's going on in Nigeria. It's not the Sokapu that's telling us that they are taking land and building things that nobody is allowed to.
Exactly.
Okay.
Don't forget to put in, sorry, Sister Jane, don't forget to put in Dr. Milafias.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even though they killed him, that one is,
And reading the jihadist letter is very important. Okay.
Yes. From that woman, I remember from the past,
exactly. Exactly. So we need to translate all of these. That's something that we need to do so people can understand, because we're in dire straits.
Yeah.
We're in dire straits. So
yeah.
Maduka, if you can go ahead and you can pick any of those videos at this point. You can pick Kintoye or Bounty Governor, and then we'll end on that. So we'll see everyone again. This has been great discussions. And we'll see everyone again next Saturday, same time, every Saturday.
Oh, please, before we go, Jean, if I may add, before we go, please, I want to urge all of us now. We need to reach out across all the middle belt, southwest, southeastern states. We have to get this information. We cannot just leave this information here. These are the things, whatever means we can use, by any means necessary now, we have to get this kind of information out. So reach anybody that you can.
We're going to have a meeting, AY. We're scheduling a meeting so that we can have a discussion and go over the plan to actually do that.
Okay. All right. So
which is it for you, Dr. Obadiah? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
In fact, it is not only unable, it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers.
Please.
Let me make some revelations to you.
That's a very big allegation, Dr. Obadiah. The government is part and parcel of the killers.
Yes.
Yeah, you will. That's it.
Which is it for you, Dr. Obadiah? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
In fact, it is not only unable, it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers. Let me make some revelations to you.
That's a very big allegation, Dr. Obadiah. The government is part and parcel of the killers.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. How would the government just say, oh, it is revenge killing and so on? Then you leave it there. Oh, because it is revenge killing and so on and so forth. The body language of this administration, the body language of the state government shows clearly
that they have a hand in the killings. No doubt about it. Because, you see, General Abacha, and people don't give him his due. Do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria.
Bingo.
Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria.
They already started.
There you go.
So
They already started.
play the other. Just continue, and I'll get the other ones. Continue. I'll get the other.
I mean, this is obviously he gave his life to get this information out.
He did.
And these are the things that our people need to know. Okay, they need to know this.
He was definitely taken. They took his life.
Yes. And even the International Criminal Court said that there's reasonable basis to believe that the Nigerian armed forces have committed crimes against
humanity
that rises to the level of war crimes. War crimes, are you guys listening? This is the International Criminal Court. And they went on to say that the reason that they are escalating is that they've given Nigeria all these years to actually make a change. And all they've been doing is shadow boxing, doing nothing, pretending to be doing something,
doing nothing.
So now you listen to the Danjuma video, you can now see what the International Criminal Court, from their own independent assessment, has had to say. And our people need to hear this.
Oh, you ready for this one?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
By Adamu Mohammed. He even writes his name. He doesn't hide himself. This one is too bold and blunt. Ever since President Muhammad Buhari took over the mantle of leadership of this great country, Nigeria, we Hausa Fulani have come under severe media attack from enemy of progress. That means he has been standing on their way. Do you know what that means? God has started working among them. He agreed before he get there, but God puts confusion in their midst. But that confusion is not yet okay. We need more. Because it is God that touched him to delay. If not so, you know, our budget. You see how the man delay this, delay that, because the assignment given to him, what Nigeria is expecting, is different to the assignment on his table. Some people say the man is slow. No. What he's facing is different to what we are talking. Are you telling me he doesn't have power to control fuel? He has power. But with who? At the time, Bob scatter everywhere. Kill all the manager and the director and the company. I will see who employ you. Whether or not dead body will come employ you from the grave. At the time, Bob scatter everywhere. Kill all the manager and the director and the company. I will see who will employ you. Whether or not dead body will come employ you from the grave. But let me make something clear to you. Stupid fellow haunting us. Whether you love us or hate us, it doesn't change anything. We are who we are. And we will continue to remain like that. We hate you even more. And we can never love you because you are all evidence. And you know, the people they call evidence, anybody that did not follow
infidels,
infidels,
is an evidence to them. I pity those of you who keep deluding yourself that we can love and trust you, simply because you work against your people to our own advantage. Imagine that statement. He said he pity those people that they are giving their information, helping them, and supporting them to destroy this nation. He said no matter how you support them, we still hate you. He's talking about Tinubu. No, there's no way a Yoruba man will be a faithful Muslim. You are seen an evidence to them because you are Yoruba. They say even though you work against your people to our own advantage, yet we hate you. Can you hear that? They are the people that you can't say, you can't beg. That thing called mercy is far away from them. Many of you have this message. You won't forward it to your brothers and sisters. You will keep it to yourself.
We can end there.
And you say it is well with you.
Yeah, let's end there. This video, that section, we need to cut it out and send it to all the lawmakers from the middle belt to the south.
Yep, I agree. The one from Babakitoye.
No, this one here, where she talked this, where they were saying those are the people that are sabotaging their own people.
No. I heard you. I said, do you want us to play the one from Babakitoye?
No, I think we can end now.
Okay, all right.
Let's have. How about next week when we talk about?
No problem.
What we're supposed to be talking about today, which is should Nigeria bear the burden of the
but the
talk about that next week. But let's go ahead and run through these videos. Let's try to see that we would have translated some of them already into Yoruba, Igbo, Pidgin, right? So that we can run some of these with the subtitles. Okay, let's take point to be able to do that, so that when we're running these, we'll have the languages on there so that people can understand what it is. Okay, so let's make that a to-do for next time. But these videos are very important because we are the ones that are actually bringing them all together, making sense of all the disparate, because everything they do, they spread it out so you can see it all together. But the Bauchi governor in that video gave us great insight, and we have not picked up on it. And now the amendment, when you go into the amendment and see how it relates to his video, right? And when you see when they're talking about the colonies, the definitions of indigent, the definitions of citizenship, then you start understanding better that he laid out a blueprint
for the domination and
understand what that blueprint is. So I want to thank everyone again for coming on board. You make a great job.
You're gone muted. You've muted. Okay, go ahead.
Provided some basis to it, and it is all hands on deck.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm calling on all indigenous Nigerians from the Hausas all the way down to the south. This is a moment to show who we are, the true strength of our heritage, the true strength of our character. We have welcomed people into our midst, and those that we have welcomed into our midst are now effectively taking over the rule of us. They've taken over our assets, and this is not something that is going to happen. It has happened. We are in a reclamation process. We are reclaiming what has been taken from us is what we need to do. Okay, that's what we need to do. And so it becomes very important when you see those articles, and I'm not sure if you have the one about the begging for the presidency to be Southeast. The indigenous Nigerians are now begging to rule themselves because the person ruling Nigeria right now, as has been rightly said, is not a citizen of Nigeria, does not qualify to be a citizen of Nigeria. And the people who are on top of all those revenue generating ministries, check out their names. Matupe, you sent those names out. We're going to have to be sending those out, right? I think I had asked you to please provide that so that we can send it out on Twitter, and we can send that all around so people are clear, very clear on what we're talking about. Nigeria has already been invaded. What we're seeing right now is a mop-up exercise. And if we don't act quickly, there will be a heck of a lot of less people, because that 90 million will die of starvation. That's why they're destroying the farms. They will die of starvation. And then the future of the indigenous Nigeria is going to be perilous. It is already perilous, and we must act. Okay, then. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And let's see that. Let's have let's show that where they're begging. Do you have the article? Because it's on the front, the front page, where they want to be zoned. They're begging to be zoned.
Oh, that's it. Nigeria needs an.
That's Nigeria. This is it. It's Do you want to play that? Nigeria needs a president of Igbo extraction in 2023.
Well, let's do. Well, I just wanted to show it so that people can see what we're talking about.
Do you want to play it, or we postpone that till next week?
Yeah, we can. I just wanted you to kind of do the screenshot of it and show that we'll get the newspaper article to show it. But the point is,
that's it. Yeah.
The middle belt.
We're begging.
Southeast.
And we shouldn't.
The south, and the southwest. The indigenous ancestral owners of the land
are begging
to rule themselves. That's what we have been reduced to. So thank you all very much again, and see you guys next week.
See you next week. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Great discussion.
Thank you.